everybody, and welcome to the weekly show of Red Through and Through, the weekly chat show where I just basically chat to, let's say, an experienced Red. That's a nice way of putting it. An experienced United supporter who's seen it all before, been there and done it. Wears the badge, so to speak. So welcome to somebody who's fondly known by me and lots of my mates as Jersey Paul. So welcome, Jersey Paul.
Afternoon, Rick. All right?
Very well, mate. You okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been living in Jersey for a while now, but you're not originally from Jersey. Where are you from originally, Paul? What was your upbringing?
I'm from Eccles originally, born in Eccles, which is now part of Salford, but it didn't used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
And there was lots of us used to cook prominently red area.
Yeah.
You know, lots of reds, and we had a good following in the Stretford end. We used to go the right side.
Yeah.
I was in the right side of Stretford end.
Yeah.
And lots used to go away games. The Fields End coaches. I don't know if you're well known.
Fields End coaches you used to travel on, right?
All the away games, you know.
How much would a coach trip would have cost in those days going back? I take it we're going back to the 60s, are we, Paul, or is it the 70s?
Yeah, the late 60s, early 70s, you know.
Late 60s, early 70s. How much would a trip to London be on a coach in them days? Any idea?
Oh, God.
How back to remember?
About 2 and 6.
6 or something. Right, okay. Right. So you mentioned the Stretford end. Great days on the Stretford end in those days. You was always on the right. They used to sing right side and left side, didn't they?
Yeah.
And obviously they'd sing about Eccles and groups from Wythenshawe and
that's right. Middleton, Middleton and Wythenshawe, as you say, and there was lots of Reds from everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
Used to congregate there. But going back, the first game I've been to, just to set a picture, my dad took me to the game, and it was Wolves.
Yeah.
It was a night game.
Yeah.
At Old Trafford. And going through them Trafford Park them days, you know, there was all sorts of smells because it was industrial, wasn't it? The area.
Industrial area, yeah.
Yeah. You'd be smelling soap or
or
all sorts of other things, all mingled in with the burgers.
Yeah.
And it just sort of leaves a memory, you know, that smell of everything.
Yeah.
And the Bovril. There was Bovril, we had that. But we walked up, I remember just walking up the steps of the scoreboard and, you know, the big open end and looking at the ground. And I was just transformed, you know, the light shining onto the green baize, you know, lovely green. And United coming out with their red shirts with a bit of a deeper red then, you know, the shirt.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Wolves with the gold shirts and black shorts.
Yeah.
It was amazing, you know, and United scored. I remember, obviously, we won the game, I remember, and the rattles, everyone's with rattles, you know, rattles are big wooden things.
When I think back to those days, Paul, I mean, I don't know if players still use liniment these days, but you used to be able to smell the liniment that the players used on the legs, didn't you? You could smell it. It was amazing.
You get the smell of it, wouldn't you? Yeah, there was all sorts of different smells stay in your mind, and I'm sure if people watch this, they'll remember them as well.
People who can remember it, of course. Yeah, there'll be quite a few probably youngsters who will be amazed by what used to go on. So So your first game was Wolves. What about away games, Paul? Did you start going to away games soon after that, or was that later on?
Yeah. Well, you know, because obviously got the bug then, you know. So after that, then I used to go in to the school, you know, from the school to the Stretford end, start at the bottom, work up. Then the away games we used to go to in the 70s, you know, and they were hairy days as well, you know. Anfield, Leeds, they all you know, Sheffield, they'd all be waiting for you. Even go to City in them days. We used to go into kickbacks, and there was a big rope used to be down the middle. I don't know if you remember, a big rope, and that was supposed to separate the fans.
The rope was to separate the fans, wasn't it?
Big rope. Yeah, it was a big thick rope.
The kit pack, for those that don't know, the kit pack was a massive big standing area along the side of the pitch, wasn't it? And they used to separate probably a third of it for United fans. I think, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but I think I'm going back far enough that you just used to pay at the gate. I don't think you actually bought a ticket for the game. So when you went there, you paid at the gate, and it was up to you to make sure you went in the area that you wanted to go in.
That was it, and lots of games, lots of grounds you went to, you pay in, you know. Yeah, you're right. You know, you'd see where United fans are, and you'd go there, or if you want to have a little.
If you want a little bit of fun and games, you might go in the wrong bit.
Go in the other end, you know.
Which used to happen a lot, by the way, didn't it?
Yeah, an awful lot.
Yeah. So some of the lads used to get together and actually deliberately get a little bit of a gang together to go in the wrong section, shall we call it?
Yeah, and I was one of them.
Fun and games with the opposition boys, if you like. So if we move on into the 70s, I remember a couple of games where we played on away grounds, but they were home games for us. The games one was against Arsenal. We played at Anfield.
Yeah. And what happened? A knife was thrown on the pitch against Newcastle the season before.
Yeah.
Nearly keeper.
Yeah.
His name. So the FA banned United for the first two home games had to be played away.
Yeah.
And in their wisdom, they had United playing Arsenal at Anfield.
United played Arsenal at Anfield in a league game.
Yeah. Night game.
Yeah.
And the other game was we played at Stoke against West Brom. But that game against Arsenal at Anfield, I mean, that was a real eye opener.
Yeah.
We got off the train at Lime Street, and it was just battling all the way to the ground.
Yeah.
And then I remember United fans did put pub windows in.
Yeah, obviously battling all the way to the ground. That's not with Arsenal fans. That's probably with the locals, obviously.
Oh, they welcomed us, with open arms and bricks, bottles, and one thing and another.
Yeah.
And then we got to the ground, and the police were, shepherding United fans down to the Anfield Road end. But I know a few did get in the cop because my brother was in there. But anyway, so I'm in the United Road end, in Anfield Road, and I can see all of, there was Liverpool fans singing Liverpool, Liverton and Everpool and all that.
Yeah, they joined together, aren't they? Yeah.
So I went, just something inside me. So I just jumped over the fence and ran towards the cop. And I had, red
along the pitch?
On the pitch.
On the pitch, yeah. Right, go on.
Running towards the cop.
Yeah.
So they thought I'd been in the Anfield Road rocking with United fans, so they started clapping, as I'm getting nearer. Right. And I stopped just at the end of the ground, just on the end of the penalty area, and just giving the biggest V's. Kiss my ass and all that carry on. I carried on if we had a ball and makeshift ball and scored. Oh, that was it then. It all kicked off. Because United fans in there were cheering. Yeah. The Liverpool fans, they all started coming down to try and get us on the pitch. And as I turned around, the police are coming for me. Yeah. I thought, oh, will I make a run for it? I thought, I'll see what happens. They nabbed me, and I thought they're just going to throw me out, Yeah. As I got down to the where the players come out, I can see a little gate. I thought, brilliant, it's going to get thrown out. And this copper said, "You bastard, you've started all this." Yeah. And he threw me down these stairs. Yeah. And I just tumbled down in the stairs. It was a cell. They had a cell underneath.
Right.
And there was shackles in the wall. I couldn't believe it. The next minute, he's lamb like this. He throws a few more United and then a few more Liverpool. So we're all in this cell fighting each other.
All together.
Underneath the stadium there. Right. And then he separated us, and then a few more were coming in and one another. And it was all bedlam outside. Our kids said, that was it. And so United fans ran from the Cop to the Anfield Road and vice versa, and one thing or another. There was no Arsenal fans there. I mean, it might have been about, a carload or something.
A carload, yeah. Arsenal were the double holders, weren't they?
Yeah.
The double last the previous season. This is at the start of the season, yeah.
Well, we beat them 3-1. But it was, I had a hairy time getting back to Lime Street.
Sounds like you was a bit of a lad, Paul, in your younger days.
Yeah.
So what about a few years after that? Obviously, United got relegated. Who could have believed that? When in fact, let's just talk about that briefly. They won the European Cup in 1968. Do you remember them? Obviously, you was a very young lad. Do you remember much about that when they won the European Cup?
Yeah, I didn't go. I was trying to get, my dad's trying to get tickets for it to go, and he couldn't get any tickets. It was murder. He said, "Don't worry, son, I'll take you next time." Little did I know.
That was a long way.
But I just remember running up the street with a scarf with other lads, you know, who'd won it sort of thing, you know.
So did you watch it on the TV then or something? It was on
yeah.
But that was in them days. There wasn't a hell of a lot of football live on TV, but games like that were on, weren't they?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was 2 years after England had won the World Cup, and I think that really kicked off like the TV football, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you watched that on the TV. A few years later, I think it was 73 or 74, was it? We got relegated, and you know the big game where the game that everybody talks about, the game against City at Old Trafford. I take it you were at that game.
I was in the scoreboard then.
Right. Okay. Did you get on the pitch?
Well, I was chasing the City fans.
The scoreboard was the City. Same situation. If you wanted to go in there, you just paid to go in there, didn't you? Nobody knew. Couldn't say you can't come in. Sorry?
Yeah. My brother was on the pitch. He was on the pitch. Right. But we chased them City fans into the corner. And that day, when it was all like dying down, I cried my eyes out.
Yeah.
I stood and looked at the ground, and I just thought, where are we going to get back from? How are we going to get back from this?
Yeah.
I got nicked that night in town, as it happened. Spent a night in a cell.
Again.
Yeah. I was bitten for buggery the next day. But that was a very low moment, you know. But little did we know what was around the corner, you know, because that season in the second division was just unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, the amount of fans we took to the games, you know, and as you say, pay in, you know. I'm not joking, we're taking 10,000, 12,000 to away games and just running amok, you know. But the football play was fantastic. You know, we had two wingers, Coppell and Hill, playing fantastic football. And there's some great games in that season, great games when we were relegated.
Any specific trip that you enjoyed where there was a bit of shenanigans or anything like that?
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, we just took so many, you know. And
obviously, that was the Pennines, isn't it? It's a short drive, really. Even in those days, it's a short drive, so a lot of people went there.
Cardiff was just mayhem. That was, you know, every man and his dog come down from the hills to welcome us.
So it was,
people welcome in the hillsides. So that was a really, really rough. But it was, you know, United. There were lots of things happening at the ground. I think was you at that game?
I was at that game,
yeah.
I just went down by coach on the day from Manchester, though. So
But the train, there were lots going on at that game.
Obviously,
one of the game in that season is when we played Sunderland.
Yeah.
Sunderland brought some fans down, fair play to them. And the game was magnificent, you know, and it was match of the day. I never know if it's never been match of the day, a second division game.
Yes.
You know, there was 60,000 and they covered it and we beat them. Sammy McElroy scored in the step for them, and it was just a fantastic game, you know. If you go on YouTube, you find it, like, you know.
Yeah, United won 3-2, I think, didn't they? And I think there was about 63,000 there.
And locked out, you know, 10, 20.
I mean, it doesn't sound like an enormous amount, but the stadium was about probably half the size of what the stadium is today. Do you know what I mean? 63,000 there. It was unbelievable atmosphere.
Yeah, it was great. And as I say, going away games, the football specials, you know, there's always fun and games on there, you know.
Yeah.
You gibbed it. You didn't want to be paying there, you know.
Yeah.
You wait for the hex to come down and then you'd be hiding in the toilets. Oh, just little things like that, you know.
And like you said before about Cardiff, there was numerous places you went to where the opposition fans would be waiting, trying to ambush little pockets of fans, and you know, there'd be scuffles all over the stations, weren't there, and around the stations and the stadiums. Football was a different place then than it is today, wasn't it?
No cameras or CCTV or phones or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
None of that, you know.
Nobody videoing you while you're having a ruck.
Yeah.
So So if we move on into the 80s, I mean, you moved to Jersey, didn't you? When did you move to Jersey? Was that in the 80s, or am I jumping the gun there?
77 I went. 77.
77, right.
Yeah, and that was when we played Liverpool in the cup final. You couldn't get a ticket if you loved the money.
Yeah.
Back in Manchester, anywhere like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Jersey it was a supporters club, and I got a job in a bar, and a couple of guys were in there, and I got talking, and he was a United fan, and somebody dropped out. He said, well, you can have the ticket if you want. And, I went, yeah, oh, no problem. So I took the ticket, and it was 2 nights in a hotel as well. It was like peanuts, what you were paying for the ticket. So I got this job, and I thought, well, I have to sack it now. I can't miss it. I'm just going to this game, You're
going to start a job, but you've now got a ticket and 2 nights in an hotel in London.
Yeah. So I said, I'm sorry. I said to the fella, I've got to go to the game. That was me out of a job then. So went across and brilliant. We stopped them winning the treble, which we did. So if it would have been murder, because they went on to win the European Cup on the Wednesday, sort of thing. But we stopped them winning that. So that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Fantastic. And you had a fantastic time in London for the whole weekend.
Yeah. It was good.
It wasn't expecting. You went back to Jersey and got another job pretty easy, did you?
Another job then, yeah. I got another job. Yeah. So that was all right. But I'll tell you another one which was bad.
Yeah.
Never try and get to a game the same day when you're living away, because we all got fog bound for the Arsenal game. In 79.
Right. Which Arsenal game? Which game?
The one that cup final, the FA Cup, and
right.
We're getting beaten. It could have gone to extra time, and what's his name? Sunderland scored for Arsenal.
Yeah, Alan Sunderland. Yeah,
scored for Arsenal.
So I think it's quite a common thing in Jersey, is it not? Where they get fog bound and the flights can't get off the island. Yeah. So that happened to you on that cup final day, did it?
Yeah. A gang of us, a load of us,
Right, so you never made it. You just had to go back into town, perhaps, and watch it on the TV or something.
Yeah. It was
amazing. Yeah. So obviously, your trips to Old Trafford obviously were a few and far between after 1977 compared to what you were doing before that.
I was every week going in, week out. Yeah, but I was always going home to see mum and dad. For Christmas and big games. I never missed any finals or the big games. Have been, lots of them, all of them, and the semi-finals, couple of semi-finals.
Been
to them. But when I went to the Brighton game, remember the Brighton game?
Yeah, the cup final. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the first game, and I know he was at fault for the goal against Arsenal. What's his name? The keeper, Bailey.
Gary Bailey.
Yeah, but he saved it last minute against Brighton. Remember?
Oh, he was clean through. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the guy who saved it.
Smith must score.
That's it. Yeah, and that was us. So then the replay was a Thursday. Thursday night. Cut long story. These were the days when you could go up to an airport and say, any flights on, any room, and you could pay. Remember?
Yeah.
If you think that far back, you think, oh my God, you should do them things.
No internet to book things or anything like that. Just walk up there and ask them.
So I didn't have a ticket, but my mate in London phoned me. He said, I've got you a ticket. I said, you kidding? He said, no, I've got your ticket. I'll be standing at this stanchion waiting for you, to come. I'll be there, wait with your ticket. So anyway, I went up to the airport, any room, got on it. So I got on the flight, landed at the Heathrow it was. I said to the guy, put your taxi down, just put your foot down to get me to the game, He said, oh, this traffic was murder on Thursday. I don't think he'll get you there. So he did anyway, did fantastic. Got me there, about 5 minutes to go before the game. I goes to look for me, mate. And
you'd arranged to meet him outside a certain gate or something.
You told me what it is, So mobiles, and like that. So I'm going, hell. So
just looking for him. You can't ring him, obviously.
I'm looking all around. The next minute I go, there's Copper on a horse. Yeah. He says, your name's Thorniley? And I went, oh shit, what have I done now? He says, just come flown in from Jersey. He said, yeah, come with me. I've got your ticket. I said, what? He said, here's the ticket here. So I went, oh, right. So I've got a bottle of whiskey. I've got a bottle of whiskey in my hand. It is duty free, what I've got on the flight.
Yeah.
So all these guys are trying to get in, having a beer, and he's shooing them away with a horse. Make way. Shoved them all to the side. And he had my ticket, but I didn't even have to queue up. The guy at the side, all right, opened up and let me in, through the gate.
Your mate obviously wanted to get in the game. And the ticket with the copper on an horse, and he sussed you out who it was. How did he describe you, Paul? How did he know it was you?
He said, a 6-foot fella with, strawberry blonde hair.
That's fantastic.
I go in, and I've got the bottle of whiskey in my hand, run up the stairs, just as to kick off, and I just landed, sat straight to him, back sat with him.
You sat with your pal, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So in the 80s then, obviously you're Jersey bound by then and just going mainly to the big games and obviously the odd weekend in Manchester. I know you used to do that. But when Fergie took over United, what was your thoughts on that? Was you happy at the time?
Ooh, well, he had a rough start, at the time, and it was like the games, Fergie out, wasn't it, at the time? We were losing some game. I know they keep saying that game against Forest, wasn't it, when we beat them in the cup? What's his name?
Matt Robbins scored, yeah.
That was the game sort of thing that saved his job, type of thing, But yeah, the Fergie years, they were different class, really. The football we played was fantastic, and I could say a little story when we went to Rotterdam for the European Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah. Fergie's second trophy, because Matt Robbins saved his job, or so most people reckon. They went on to win the cup, and the next year, the Cup Winners' Cup, they got to in Rotterdam. Yeah. So go on.
So I was got 5 of us, and one of them knew a pilot in the plane. Right. So it wasn't a jet, So we said, "Do you fancy going?" He said, "Well, I'll take you there, but I need to come back. I'll be back at 6 in the morning. I'll fly back. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not." So I said, "Yeah, okay." So we set off on the flight. It's a little prop, prop 5 of us. So we're going along, and it's going all right. And then he says, "I'm the one. I got the ears muffs on as well." He's talking to me. And he says, "The forecast looks bad. The forecast looks bad in Rotterdam." He says, "We might have to, I might have to land on the border. We'll have to perhaps watch it on the telly." And I went, "Well, fuck that. Excuse me, French. I said, I'm not having that, So he says, "You want to ask the lads if what they want to do, who wants to do what? We'll vote on it." I went, "Yeah, I'll do that. So I turn around to the lads, and I just says, "Everything all right, lads? Everything all right? Put your thumbs up." And they all went, yeah, like this. So I said to the pilot, "Luke, the lads are all right, they want to carry on." So he went, "Right, okay, then you've had a vote." A couple of them were
you didn't give them the option. You just obviously it's that loud in those planes. He can't hear anything from the back. He can just hear you. Yeah, I get it.
That far we're going to go now. And I remember coming in. It was a filthy night that night. It was poured down on it. Big jets were coming in from Spain and Manchester, and a little prop. He just got in, landed. We all did the Pope, kissed the ground. Yeah. We were landed, and then we went off to go to the gate. I didn't have a ticket. Stood up on this little on the little tram. Anybody and the tram, and this Dutch fella come up with a ticket. 50 guilders or something like that. I don't know what it was.
Guilders in them days.
I got a ticket then, and then that was a great game. Usually scored a brilliant goal to beat them. Yeah, and we had a fun night in Rotterdam, but we had to be at 6 o'clock to get back. Yeah, so I had to look after a couple of lads who sort of went to see a few ladies, local attractions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and one of them had his wallet dipped. Good job his passport wasn't in it. Right. But there you go. And then we got 6 o'clock there and come back.
So you was all back in time for the 6 o'clock. Obviously,
6 o'clock.
For 6 a.m. So how long was the flight on this propellered plane?
about 4 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours. Sort of
Seriously,
thing,
seriously.
Yeah.
And by jet, it's about 45 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah. It was probably about 3 hours, I think. Because he was, and he was quite low, and it was just,
amazing. Absolutely amazing. So obviously, none of us could envisage the success we were going to have under Ferg. It was unbelievable what happened when obviously millions of United fans around the world can only remember the glory days.
Yeah.
But for us lads who were a bit older, who remembered what it was like being on Liverpool's coattails. Well, we weren't even on their coattails. Other teams were on their coattails for a while, and we were well below the pecking order, so to speak. It looks like it's coming back round to that sort of. We won't speak about that. But we couldn't have envisaged, could we, having the success that we had when Fergie took over. What he did was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Unbelievable, and it just can be so hard to replicate, And we did. It's only now you realise what you had. The football we played was fantastic,
Yeah.
And the other thing as well, we used to love Cardiff. We used to fight the cup finals in Cardiff. You remember?
Yeah. We used to play. Yeah, when they were rebuilding Wembley, all the big games were in Cardiff, weren't they? For about 5 or 6 years, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. We had a couple of up and downs. I remember Arsenal beat us in the FA Cup when we should have beat them. Penalties, we got beat by them. Liverpool as well, but we beat Millwall. We beat some great games, and great times in Cardiff.
Great. I think it's a great town, Cardiff. I loved it. Those cup finals. I met you there a couple of times, and we had a few drinks in Cardiff, didn't we, after games? And had some great times. I wouldn't mind the cup finals being in Cardiff again instead of Wembley.
No, anytime. They were great. They were
brilliant times. In fact, I remember one thing. Tell us a little bit tell us as much as you can about Carlos Queiroz, by the way, because I remember something about Carlos Queiroz when we were there.
Yeah. Long story short, in Jersey, a lot of Portuguese, and he's from that area. His mother is from Angola. Cut long story short, I knew this girl who looked after his mother, and got talking, and she mentioned me, and she was talking to Carlos. She used to phone up every couple of days, and so she put on the phone to me, and I was talking to him and explained who I was and wanted to know. Great, nice to hear from you, and if you want to come for a ticket, let me know, and one to another. I went, great. Anyway, I went to there's a guy in Madeira where Ronaldo comes from, and he says there's a lad there absolutely fantastic. He's the second Ronaldo. So he did a video of him, on a CD of him playing, and he was, I went, wow, I watched it. So I phoned Carlos and told him about this. He says, great. He says, I'm coming over for the game, so give me a call when you come over and we'll sort it out. So it was a Liverpool game. So I've got this...
Liverpool away, wasn't it? Yeah.
Liverpool away, yeah. So I've got this CD with this, all this lad showing how good he is. So I phoned Carlos and I told him, I said, great. He said, leave it at the ground. Then he phoned me back. He says, at the stadium with one of the stewards. And then he phoned me back and says, on second thought, I'll come and get it myself. I don't want to leave it them thieving bastards. I'll never see it.
I'll never get it back,
yeah. So he come to when the players come in, I gave it to him personally there, and he gave us the tickets. So the lad never made it. He looked him up, but it's like anything else. There's lots of lads out there that want to be the next Ronaldo, but for one thing or another, it doesn't happen.
Whether it's people out there got the ability, and maybe they don't achieve it. Maybe they're not big enough, not strong enough. There's all sorts of reasons. They don't apply themselves properly.
Right.
There's going to be the odd one out there who's just not lucky enough at the end of the day, doesn't play well enough on the day when someone's looking at him. But that's football, isn't it? So, any memories from the treble year, Paul? Did you have a good trip? Did you go to? I take it you went to Barcelona.
I went. I flew over for the semi-final at Aston Villa. I was at that game.
Oh, the FA Cup, yeah.
Giggs scored,
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. That was, when Neville got sent off, I was watching the game and I thought, oh no, Arsenal are all over us.
It was Keano who got sent off, wasn't it? Was it not Keano?
Yeah, Keano got sent off. Sorry, when Neville gave the penalty away.
Neville gave a penalty away, yeah.
You know, and then but when Schmeichel saved it, I thought, well, we got a chance. You know, let's see if we can hang on. And Giggsy was having a shit game. I remember him.
Yeah.
He got the ball and says, "Come on, Giggsy, do something." You know, and I watched him weave, and I was on the side and went, go on, Giggsy, go on, do something. That's it. Go on. Oh my God, go. Boom. And that was it. Unbelievable. And he ran along the side there, and I was half on the pitch and half off it, you know, when he ran along the side. Yeah. And that was brilliant, getting, you know, that game done. And then we got the final against Newcastle. Yeah. And we're skipping, I'll come to that in a minute. Then we've got Spurs at home.
Yeah.
Game of the season.
Yeah.
Spurs at home, last game of the season. So I managed to get a couple of tickets. I got my dad in the family stand.
So excuse me a second. You go into all these games, are you flying back and forward, or are you staying over for a few weeks? Or
sometimes I'm here for a week or two. You know, it works that way. And those games were, I thought I stayed on. I thought I've got to see this. I got to see it. So
go on. Sorry to interrupt you.
I had a ticket I got him one in the family stand. I got a friend who I know got a ticket there, and I always Dad loved Pavarotti, you know, the singer, and on that game when we played Tottenham. What's his name? Come on, the singer.
What's he called? I know who you mean. Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Salford lad, the singer.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's obviously he come on as he sings Pavarotti.
He sings Descendoma. You know, the crowd's all, you know, like shouting the ball, and then he quiets him down. It was fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
What's his singer? Ian, there's a singer called. Anyway. So anyway, that was set the scene for that game. But it's a bit surreal that because the Tottenham fans didn't really want to win because it would have meant Arsenal win the league.
Yeah, yes, it was strange. Yeah.
So they score first. Remember, Ferdinand scores.
Yeah.
You know, but then, he scores, and the Tottenham fans were sort of like this, you know, because I remember I was speaking to a few afterwards. But anyway, and then we beat them. So that was the league more or less wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then...
we got to win that game, didn't we, yeah?
Yeah, and then a cup final. So I took my dad to that game. Because I tell you, I'm going back a little bit. You know when we won the league the first time, we waited so long when we beat Blackburn?
Yeah.
Had a long wait to win the Premiership, you know. Yeah. And I took my dad to that game, you know. So he waited so long to see us do it again. It was fantastic, that game we beat Blackburn. Yeah. I'm going back a bit there. So
that Blackburn game, had we already won it? It was just like
party time.
Yeah, it was party time. Yeah.
Great game though. Pallister scored, you know, from a free kick and like that. But we'd won it then, and it was just everybody's. And the atmosphere was all.
First time we won it in however long. Donkey shit.
But then I went down to the cup final when we beat Newcastle. I took my dad for that sort of thing. It wasn't a great game, but we did what we had to do. Yeah. And then it was off to Barcelona then for the European Cup. Yeah. I had a friend, you know, you do meet some nice people through the years who help you out here, there and everywhere for tickets or one to another. And he sorted me out a package that he was doing and from London. Yeah. And so all I had to do was turn up at the airport and then get over to London, and then I'm on the flight. The BA, so I'm upgraded, you know, and I end up being sat next to the newsreader, Anna Ford, is it? Anna Ford?
Yeah, Anna Ford, you sat next to Anna Ford on the flight.
Anna Ford, like, so I had to watch my P's and Q's a little bit. Yeah. But she's a United fan, you know?
Right.
So
was she just going out there for the game, or was she working?
No, just going for the game.
As a fan, right, okay.
As a fan, like, you know? Yeah. And then, as I say on there, it was the Canadian Formula One team was on the flight as well, right? Because the Grand Prix was in Barcelona the same weekend. So these lads, I was with some of the crew. You know, the lads were sat next to us and I'm talking and for the football, you know, all this and So we have a few drinks and just chatting away and one to another. And he says, if you want to come in the pit, you can come to the Grand Prix in the pit with us, if you like.
Magic.
What an offer. Oh, fantastic. You know, I said, well, I've got a football match I need to go to.
Yeah, well, obviously, United game was on a Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Grand Prix would have obviously been the following weekend. Not that I remember that, but you're telling me that they were on that flight. It would have been that weekend. But first of all, you're probably not a massive Grand Prix fan. But even if you were, you've then got to stay an extra 4 days, haven't you? That's the problem. There's a million fans out there for the Grand Prix who would have bit their hand off and stayed an extra 3 days. Got invited into the pitch with the Canadian Grand Prix team. Amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I remember the game itself. I remember the game. So I'm in this hospitality. So we'll get off the flight. There's a coach taxi. It's this big plush hotel, you know, and everything's laid on. And inside they've got video showing United games from the season. You know, the season just gone.
Yeah.
It was fully. You know, I think United obviously put this on, and all the food. And so in the end, they come out with these Red Devils, like, you know, with the blow up fork and things like that, you know. So I ended up leaving there with that, one of them, and I had a bottle
I'll blow up Red Devil with a fork. Yeah,
and a bottle of cognac, Spanish, because they kept, you know, I've said, oh, that's nice. So they gave me a bottle. They come out and give me a bottle. So I had that in a plastic bag as well.
Right.
I got to the game, and it's all fun and getting to searching and one to another. Cut long story short, they're searching me and having a laugh, and I'm with these other crew sort of thing. So they more or less think, oh, they're quite respectable, you know.
Yeah, because you come from the hospitality area.
Yeah. So I'm in with this thing, blow up thing, and then I get this bottle of brandy in as well, like, you know. So. But the game itself, I mean, we should have been behind a few times there, second best, you know, to a lot of things. I just remember some United fans were going, oh, well, we've won the league, we've won the FA Cup, you know, and I was going, yeah, but we need to be doing more, you know, start supporting, let's cheer more, you know, sing, you know, it's not over till the fat lady sings, you know, because it was like, it was like it resigns at the fact that we've won the double
already, but we've won the double, yeah,
you know, and then, as you know, when we got the equaliser, well, that was it. You know, geez, I was on top of the seats, and then the next minute I'm all on the floor. And I no sooner got up from the floor, you know, and boom, there we go again, and I'm back down again, like, you know. Yeah. But all these lads, these fellas around, say, you're right, you know, you know, singing, you know, you're right, we should be supporting them, and you know, it's great. Obviously, a lot of brandy induced.
Yeah.
But
after the game, you painted the town red, did you?
Yeah. After the game, back to the Ramblers. Had a hotel booked, but never stayed in it. Didn't stay in the hotel. Just stayed out.
Managed to find bars that were open all night. That's what it's
all
like.
Night.
Some foreign place, isn't it?
Yeah. Party time it was like. But and then a bit rough going back. Didn't get a night's kip, as I say, so I still had the hotel key in my pocket, and I left my bag in the hotel.
You left your bag there?
In the hotel, like, yeah. So there's you know, if anyone was over in Barcelona, there's some toiletries and some
whatever.
Trousers, some skiddies. So
fantastic. So more frequently, I don't know, say the last 5 or 10 years, Paul, you still getting over to the big games these days?
Yeah, I'm lucky to say I've not missed a cup final. You know, going over for all big games, and then you know, say we've got supporters club in Jersey. We go over for certain games, and that's always nice to pick a game and go to it. And but I think. It's not as easy as it used to be, you know, ticket-wise, unless you're affiliated, you know. Yeah.
If you stay, obviously you only come over to the big games, like you say. I take it you watch the games normally on the TV. There, do you watch them?
Oh yeah.
Or do you watch with the lads in the club or the boozer?
Yeah, we got a club, and we all go in there and watch the game. So all in that, you know, my United Sports Club over there. You know, so.
It's great fun in itself, isn't it? Watching it with a group of lads in the boozer or the club or whatever.
Yeah. You know, there's lots of Mancs there who you know lived over there. There's local lads as well, Jersey guys and women who love United.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's great to watch. And then, as I say, they organise a trip and you come on over. You know, obviously late 60s, early 70s, done my time. You know, I've been there, seen it, done it. You know, support them through the
fantastic things, mate. It's been absolutely brilliant talking to you about it. I was thinking of touching on the modern day United and where you think we're going with that, but I'm not saying we will, but maybe at some stage we might make a separate little programme about that, Paul, if you want to talk. Because I'm sure if we start talking about United in the last couple of years, we'd probably be going on for another half an hour or something, won't we? So there's plenty to say. So anything you want to add, any other little ditty or little story you might want to mention from that I've not touched on or you've not touched on?
I think there's lots of other things I'm going to say I mentioned. I think what they call it, watching Breslau and Charlton, you know, having the privilege to watch him, you know. I think Bobby Charlton was so graceful, you know, running with the ball and would pick a pass out, you know. George Best was very unpredictable sometimes, you know. He would do the hard thing, make it look easy. His feet were brilliant, a bit greedy sometimes, but you know, he was just different class. But for me, Dennis Law has always been my hero. Dennis Law will always be my hero. He's the king. And I used to love him when he scored his goal and have his hand up in the air.
He used to grip the end of his shirt, didn't he, with the finger up like that.
I mean, you know, if a big 6'5" centre half would kick him, he'd kick him back. You know, he was a naughty little boy like that, but he gave as good as he got. He just flashes of brilliance. He used to score, and you know, put it this way, he's the only United player who's got 2 statues at Old Trafford. There you go.
That's true. That's
true. And he's always been my hero. And I met him, and little things I used to do. I used to. If I was booking somewhere, a restaurant or a taxi, I always call it Mr. Law. I always used to use my name. Use my name because they'd get it wrong. But I go, Mr. Law. Yes, Mr. What? First name D. Dennis. You know, so, oh, right, okay. So some people didn't know if it was me or not, if it was Dennis Law or not. Whatever. I have to speak in a Scottish accent. But if I book a hotel, you know, a restaurant, it was always, you know, Mr. Law.
Dennis Law.
Mr. Law, Dennis, Mr. D. Law. Yes.
Do you think it ever opened any doors for you? Was there ever a restaurant that said, "Oh, we're fully booked," and then you said it's Dennis Law? Did that ever happen?
We always found something. There was a club. I went to a club. It was in not Cardiff. Was it Cardiff? No, it was Torquay. And you had to join, you know. So I joined, and the bouncer looked at my name, and he went, Dennis Law? Are you Dennis? I said, yes, my name's Dennis Law. He says, I need to see your passport next time. No problem.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, I think it's been fantastic, Paul. I think we're just about run out of time, but like I say, maybe we'll do another show one day about modern day United. It's been brilliant talking to you. Thanks for coming on.
This is, I'm down at my brother's place in Poole, and that's his flag. You'll see it at certain games.
Oh, yeah. From the cradle to the grave, Man United. Is Ian there, is he?
Yeah, my brother and my nephew, they go to all United European away games, and you'll see that flag.
I've seen it on the TV plenty of times, that flag, yeah.
So any lads away games, God willing, when we can go again, just come and say hello to them.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Okay, Rick. You take care. Best of luck.
See you next time.